Welcome to Sipping Reality X with Jill and
Megan.
It is gorgeous out this morning.
Yeah, we are sitting in the sun right now.
We are, so there might be some background noises, but we are enjoying the sun and the fresh air.
And the birds.
And the birds.
They're chirping.
Oh my goodness.
They're singing to us.
They're singing to us. We are talking today about kink shaming.
Yes. Good topic.
Yeah, we have a lot of thoughts about this.
Yeah. Why don't you kick us off with your first thought?
My first thought. Well, it's been very interesting because we've been listening to a lot of comedy lately. Comedians make a lot of jokes about kinks.
Yeah. And they make jokes about at their own detriment, really. Their own lives.
Well, they do, but that's less kinky.
No, yeah, but it's along the same lines as they're unashamed. They talk in a confident way about their own life and put their shit out there.
They do, but when I've heard them share about kinks, it has been in a very shaming way. There was a clip of a comedian talking about men liking to have fingers up their
Oh yeah,
butt.
I didn't like that.
No, it was. This is my point. And it's like, oh, well, if you like that, it's something negative about it. And I'm like, anybody who is in the audience or anybody listening that actually enjoys that, because it feels good.
No freaking issue with that.
There's nothing wrong with a man liking that.
I mean, men have a prostate. We don't have a prostate. That feels good for them.
Yeah, so, well, it feels good for women too.
Well, yes, I freaking love it.
Yes,
so,
you're obsessed with it.
I am.
It's like an addiction.
It's an addiction.
A little bit.
An anal addiction.
Anal slides.
I am. Admittedly.
Admittedly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you talked all about going anal only on our podcast before.
Yeah, I would. I've considered it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, if it feels even better for men, then what is wrong with that? And in the way that they were joking about this particular, you could call it kink or sexual act or whatever, it was in a shameful way. Like, there's something wrong with you if you like this.
Yeah.
And I
like
didn't
she
like
was
that.
turned off by a man if they wanted it.
Yes, it wasn't her saying, oh, I like this kink and I'm going to make fun of myself and be unashamed. It was like, oh,
well, I find
if you
it interesting.
Like this kink, I'm going to make fun of it now.
I find it interesting that there's that duality with comedians because they're very unashamed about talking about their own lives and making jokes about themselves and their own lives.
Yes.
Family matters, whatever. But and then, a skit like that, they're, shaming a kink.
Well, at the same time, they say racist comments, and they're not actually racist. They make jokes out of things that people are ashamed of to make light of it. And I do understand that is the intention. And yet I do see how it can propagate kink shame.
Yeah, no, I do.
It's interesting.
With comedians, though, I think it's like you said, it's a little bit different just because they're just putting skits together. And I mean, what's that? There's one comedian where he, blasts the audience like just over and over again. What do they call that when they go back and forth with somebody in the audience?
It's just called
crowd something. crowd something.
Yeah. They do crowd time.
Yeah, whatever.
It's like crowd time.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's nothing fancy. I just don't know.
And they're just joke. I mean, they'll kink shame.
They do.
They're just.
Well, I've heard several of them do.
They're just ragging on people.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and that's kind. I mean, it's
and
it's
that's
kind of
why
different.
It's like they're making a joke of it, but at the same time, there is so much true shame that people hold around kinks and fetishes and sex and sex in general that I think all the more it makes me motivated to speak out against kink shaming.
Yeah.
It's a motivator to say, hey, there's nothing wrong if you like that. It's not hurting anyone or you. Happy orgasming.
Like, I mean, for me, this is an important topic to me because I've felt a lot of shame my whole life for the things that I enjoy. I've always been a super exhibitionist, and I like people watching me, and I've always liked that.
Oh, it's really fun.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I didn't understand before.
So
there's something really
And I didn't
energizing about it.
Want other people to join me. I just like to be watched.
Yes.
And that was, I held a lot of shame for that my whole life. So yeah, this is important for me to talk about, just from where I've come from and where I've had to grow and not feel ashamed about the things that I like and own it, you know?
Well, there's so much kink shaming on Facebook and social media, where I'm on these dating sites and there's so many people are like, oh my gosh, my boyfriend does this. Oh my gosh, my girlfriend wants to try this, and I'm horrified. And the way that partners react to somebody's kinks, instead of being open or understanding, or hey, I don't want to provide this for you, but maybe somebody else can. You've talked about the show Bonding, and there was that episode where there was that really rich family and the husband wanted to be tickled and the wife was horrified to tickle him. There was something about it that really turned her off. So she went and hired the dominatrix to tickle her husband for her. And that was so loving.
Yeah.
There was a lot of love in that. And then she realized that the dominatrix, I forget all their names, but the dominatrix partner there, her best friend, was sitting with the wife while she was up tickling the husband. And he let her punch him. And she discovered that she really got off on punching him and enjoyed it.
Oh my God.
And I don't know, it was just all very interesting, but they all got what they needed, and everybody, it was all consensual.
Yeah,
it was all agreed upon. It was all in the name of healing and health and caring for one another. And I don't know. It's great that she really punched him. She gave him like a black eye. He was messed up.
Yeah.
He regretted that one. But the way that this wife was so turned off by her husband's kink, and yet instead of just shaming him, it's okay that she's turned off by it, and it's okay that he's turned on by it. It's not her thing. So she went and hired somebody to do that for her husband. And I think that's the way it should be. It's like, okay, you're into this. I'm not into this. Is this one thing I ask when dating somebody now? One of the first questions, actually. What are your must-have kinks? Because if somebody's must-have kink, like they're not going to be satisfied in their relationship if they're not getting it. If it's not something that I'm willing to let somebody else do with them, or that I'm willing to do, and they need to have it,
I'm not going to work out.
I'm not going to date them.
Right.
Because they're going to be unfulfilled, and they're either going to go get it somewhere else behind my back.
Right.
Or they're not going to be fulfilled in their relationship with me. And I don't want either of those scenarios.
Well, that's how I feel in general now, like going forward. I never want to limit a partner sexually again.
Yes,
especially experiencing being limited.
And there's some things that people are sometimes like, I really enjoy this, but I don't need it. If I find the right woman or find the right man, I can throw that out the window.
Yeah.
There's things.
Yeah.
But then there's other things where it's just like, oh, I can't live without this.
Yeah. Like this dynamic that I have found that I could never have a partner that doesn't have that dynamic and chemistry with me that we've talked about, you know, the daddy-daughter, stag vixen kind of thing. But that's something I learned too. I didn't even know that in the past. I don't think I can live without. No, I know I can't. Not I think.
I could live without it if I had certain other dynamics instead. But I need to have, if I don't have that, then I need a deep, sensual, spiritual, sexual connection with making love. No, but that's you. I'm just saying I don't.
But you that is the rest of your life without subspace.
When I made love, when I had that deep spiritual, that was a whole new level of subspace that doesn't even exist. Like the daddy-daughter thing shuts off my mind, but this like opened my mind to this connection where I went to this place where no worries existed, but I was so alive and intertwined with the other person's soul. Like, yeah, I could give it up to find that connection again.
Yeah,
I could.
That is that.
But if you had ultimate. If I had both,
that would be the best of both worlds.
And I think it's possible.
I do too.
To find that,
yeah.
I'm not
making love is a really incredible intoxicating, magical, I don't know, a bunch of other amazing words that I can't think of right now.
It draws me in more than just the dom sub stag vixen thing, although it's very enjoyable and very fun and incredibly addictive and all of that. I still feel unfulfilled not having the deep, sensual, making love tantra type experience.
Yeah,
I'm missing.
Too.
Yes, I'm missing that
too. I can't live without that.
Well, that's my point. That's the one that I don't want to live without.
Without that, no.
Yes. That is what I seek above all else.
I didn't even know that was possible.
But there's things that people have that are very specific. Like, that's a dynamic that we can't live without. We already did an episode on that. But, like, the specific kinks, like, there's people that are really into water sports.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a very shameful, for a lot of people, kink to have, because it's something that's very easy for people to shame.
Right.
Somebody might be able to try and live without that, but if they really enjoy it, finding somebody else that enjoys it is good, but also being able to walk through your life not ashamed that you enjoy that. Like, who cares what other people say, because people are judging you anyways.
Right.
Did we just say this last week on X or on our regular podcast? I think I said at the end of our regular podcast, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I said it on this one, like, be who you're going to be, because all those people are already judging you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, like, I know people with, like, foot fetishes, like, their partner, I know many men, their partner does not like that, and they go outside to get that fixed. Fulfilled. Yeah. I see that all the time. I mean, and many other kinks, obviously, too, but like you said, if a partner is shaming their partner for a kink, sometimes it's a communication thing. Sometimes they don't tell their partner about it at all. They don't give them the opportunity to say yes or no to it.
Or how important it is to them. They might say, oh, I like this, are you willing? And they say no, and then they shut down, instead of saying, well, this is very important to me.
Right.
This is something that I really need in a relationship. Is there some way that we can fulfill this for both of us?
Yeah.
But a lot of partners are really shaming. Like I said, I hear it all the time on social media.
They do communicate, and they're totally shamed.
And these people go on social media and then say, oh my God, my partner just asked if I would do this. And it's like, goodness, what if your partner sees that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Even if they don't, I think it's so important for us to be doing podcasts like this and sharing about these things, because not only is it important for those of us that have shameful kinks, but it's important for the people who don't to hear that it's okay that your partner has a kink that you don't like. Right. Then work it out. Figure out a way. Are you okay with somebody else doing that for them? Are you, like, let's work this out.
Because the other option is to shame them into telling them it's wrong to do. And if it's not hurting anybody, that's not a good thing to say to somebody.
No.
That's wrong. But that happens all the time.
Well, humans love to tell other people that things that they don't like are wrong. So they feel like what they like is right, and they're good, and the other person isn't.
Yeah.
We're always wanting to feel better because we're all so insecure.
And we're increasingly in a society of people who don't respect other people's point of views or beliefs or wants or desires. People are really focused on themselves more and more now than ever, I think.
Well, it's a big thing about us coming out of being religious.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even stand listening to the people that I used to. I'm like, how do you know you're right?
Right.
There was a post. There was this post that was saying that there was something in the Bible that wasn't, saying that, so this connects to kinks and the BDSM world, because there's a lot of poly relationships. But so let me just briefly, in the Torah community, there's a lot of polygyny. Now, polygyny is one man with multiple wives, right? Which we know can be done very well in the BDSM lifestyle, and that's fine if done well and agreed upon. But polygyny has the added edge that it's patriarch. It's a patriarch where this man is not... It's not like a dom-sub dynamic.
No, they're subservient and they don't have a choice.
Yes, where there's a power exchange.
Yeah.
It's complete control.
Yes.
And it's submission based on the belief that the woman is the lower being and that a woman is incapable of making her own decisions. A woman is incapable of telling a man anything. A woman is inferior.
And she's not allowed to have multiple partners, only the man.
Yes. But yeah, it's very different than what I see in the lifestyle. So there's this man claiming that the Bible calls it righteous, and gave me a verse where a verse says that Joash was right in the Lord's eyes as long as the priest was alive. Now, I think the Lord was speaking about the priest. Yeah. Not about God.
Right.
But they're saying that it was in God's eyes as long as the priest was alive, which doesn't even make sense. And then it says, and then the next sentence says the priest gave him 2 wives. So now they're saying that sentence means that polygyny is righteous. I'm like, that's not what it's saying.
No.
And these men are debating me. And then I said Josh instead of Joash because of autocorrect. And he's like, who's Josh? I'm like, oh my gosh, just the judgment and the way that he used my typo to try and put me down. It's like, you are not a good person.
No.
Well, the fruit of that is so ugly. And then you go into these communities in the BDSM world, and people are so loving, and for the most part, that we've met, so open, so non-judgmental, and yet there's so many people in the lifestyle that are still so ashamed of their kinks and even to talk about them openly within the community. And that is the purpose of this podcast, is to say, let's talk about them. Yeah. And if you have no one to talk about them with, talk about them to us.
Yep. Send us a message.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you about it.
I am happy to make you feel good about your kink, as long as you're not hurting somebody.
Or yourself.
Yes. I mean, unless you like it.
Well,
some women like bruising.
Oh, they do.
I mean,
like punctures. Oh, like that picture I saw with the tape. The masking tape on the butt cheeks and the thumbtacks.
Thumbtacks. I'm not judging. I just can't stand the thought of how painful that would be.
Puncture wounds on her butt, but she likes that, which is fine. It's a consensual. That's what they like. Whatever.
Exactly. So sometimes there's pain.
Sometimes you can hurt yourself, quote, but you're not.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to clarify that.
And you can hurt others as long as it's consensual.
Well, they're asking for it.
If they're asking for it, right.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to be bruised.
I don't.
I do.
It's not a thing for me.
I very much like that.
Yeah. If my butt's gonna be sore, I want it to be because I worked out.
I want it from a good spanking session.
Yeah, I only want soreness from a good workout.
Or
that's
bites.
Strengthening my body.
Or a bite.
Oh, I love bites, but I don't want a mark that's going to last to the next day.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I want it to last for like a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, but that's a difference. And there's nothing wrong with you.
But it's consensual.
Yes.
But it's consensual.
And it's okay that I don't like that and that you do. And it doesn't make one thought or idea better or worse than the other.
Exactly.
It just is.
And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, you don't like to be bruised?
Well, that would be weird.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my gosh, you like to be bruised? Yes. Because that's the tendency, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a difference. It's like Megan is more open to a poly E&M type scenario. I'm not. It doesn't work for me. I'm open to group play with a partner, to do scenes with a partner. Actually, I crave that and want to find a partner open to that. But that doesn't necessarily mean me or the partner having sex with anybody else within that scene.
Just people watching, or you watching others.
Well, I've engaged in a little bit more than just watching others and being watched.
Yeah.
But there's different ways to have scenes and engage sexually without having sex, or engaging in things that you don't want to, pieces of that you don't want to engage in.
Right.
That can be really fun, and I've really enjoyed it, and I would like that within my relationship. But for me to go further or to have play apart from one another, that's just not for me, and it's not...
I'm not sure I like that either. I think that if I had a partner in the lifestyle, I would want us to do sessions like that together.
Play together. Would you do a full swap?
Yeah, if they were there.
Yeah, see, I'm not sure if I would do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It would have to...
It depends on the partner. It's hard to say because I had that... My Cuck Queen fantasy came up with only a specific partner.
Right.
That just grew in me, being with this one specific person. And it's something that I never desired before. It's something that, not being with them, I'm not desiring. It's interesting.
Right.
Certain dynamics seem to bring out different things in me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely see that. And I mean, I have a partner. When I think about him with someone else, it does make me mad. But there's a lot of nuances to that too. It doesn't make me jealous per se. Just I have emotions around it. But it's the great thing about it is the communication that we have around, working through that. And that's important too. Obviously, in a partnership, in a relationship, is to be able to communicate feelings that come up and work through them and say, am I okay with this? Am I not okay with this? And kind of respect each other going forward. Communication is, I think, the biggest part about, obviously anything. And when we're talking about kinks, sharing our kinks with our partners, being an E&M and poly, and you could be okay with a scenario one day and the next day some feelings come up and you're like, oh, today, like, that just doesn't feel right. I'm feeling like sad today for some reason. And being able to communicate that.
With me, where I'm like, yes, I would enjoy this, but right now I'm going through something very specific and I have a specific need today. And today I said no to something. Right. Because it wasn't right for me today, but it's not something that I'm opposed to.
In the future.
On a different day.
So, because you're paying attention, there, like I said, it changes day to day because you're going through something. So it changes something that you'd normally be okay with, but today you're like, I'm evaluating myself emotionally, and I'm going through something, and this is going to put me in a space I'm not okay with.
Yeah, it's really important that we choose and select partners that we can talk openly about kinks, whether they are into them with us or not, without being shamed, without feeling ashamed, with being able to understand and know when to walk away from a partner because they are shaming us, and that there's somebody more suited out there for us. Right. To be able to assess what's right and wrong for us in the moment, all of that. That's a great conclusion to today's topic.
Yep, it is. And we thank you all for listening today.
Happy fucking!
Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we love you.
And enjoy your orgasm today.
If you get one.